What's up, everybody? It's Wednesday night, and that means it's time for another Meathead Podcast. Joining me as always, is Akim Albrecht, the great bodybuilder from Germany. It's actually Big Mike Cox, and all the way from Las Vegas, Baidi Macho Farl. What's up, Baidi?
What up?
How you guys doing today, man? How you guys doing?
Am I saying your name right? I feel like I say your name wrong all the time. Baidi?
Baidi, yeah, perfect. Okay. You got it, brother.
And we'll have this up later. He's at Baidi Farl on Instagram, and a YouTube channel is simply his name, Baidi Farl. Got a lot of stuff to go over, guys. I want to start with what you guys thought were the biggest stories of the year. So, Baidi, you're the special guest. You go first. Give me one story that really shocked or surprised you, or huge story for you in 2025 in bodybuilding.
Oh man, there's quite a few. Should I go positive or negative with this one?
We'll start with the positive. We'll start with the positive one, sure.
Okay, the first there's a few things that shocked me. Urs switching to open was pretty exciting, but we can go earlier than that. I mean, Samson losing to Arnold. I don't think any of us saw that coming.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that was. He was a heavy favorite, and he was taking a chance doing that show. But how close do you think it was? I think on the scores it wasn't close, but watching the show is a different story.
To be honest, once Derek came out, it was pretty clear to me Derek was going to win in prejudging. It might have actually been closer in finals, possibly. I'm not sure about what the scorecards, but yeah, when Derek came out, honestly, he did look like the winner. He was on, man. He was on. I know Derek gets a lot of hate for whatever reason, but if we're talking about him as a bodybuilder, I mean, I don't really see much to hate. I got to be honest with you. I mean, I think he gets the job done. Is he everybody's cup of tea, physique-wise? No, but nobody is. You know, everybody has their weaknesses and strengths, and I think he got the job done. You know.
So why do you think? I personally think Samson losing this was the catalyst for what made him decide, okay, everyone said I wasn't lean enough. I'm going to have to be leaner. And then we saw what happened. He guest posed 6 weeks out from the Olympia in Romania, looking leaner than we've ever seen him at 6 weeks out. But he was downsized, and we're like, he knows what he's doing. He'll fill out in time, and it didn't happen. So I have to wonder if this moment, him losing the Arnold, was the reason he didn't win the Olympia again this year.
Dude,
yeah.
Derek in person is very impressive. Like, people see Derek and they see pictures online and they see his bicep and they see this. But when you see this kid in person and he opens up to that front double, he's very impressive. And like Baidi said, when he came out for the Arnold, he was tight. He was on. I think this is a well-deserved win. But again, we all anointed Samson the winner, but you can't really knock a guy. You know, Mr. Olympians usually don't compete as much as Samson does. This dude, he's been competing nonstop since before he won the Arnold. So, you know, people give him crap for losing, but he put it on the line, whereas most Mr. Olympians don't. But you listen, Derek, he's like, I don't know, you can't hate on the kid, man. He's not everybody's cup of tea, and I think he just gets a bit. He's just happy, right? His persona, that's his persona. And people, listen, the more you compete, the more people want to see you fail. It happened with Phil. It happened with Ronnie. It's just the nature of the sport. But he won a lot of money, man. This kid, he had a good year financially. So then, 1.2 million in addition to what his sponsors are making. Tax-free state too. So good for him.
Everybody,
go ahead, baby.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I was gonna say, yeah, you're right, Mike. It's like everybody loved him. Remember his first Olympia? This is so exciting. Look at him at Pittsburgh. Whoa, this guy is shitting on all these guys. They were talking about, look, he looks better than Nick. He looks better than everybody loves him. Until he wins, everybody still loves him. Everybody's happy. But you win too, right? It's like you can't be too good. People are comfortable with you being good. But if you're too good and people don't like it, it's a strange thing. Other than the C bump, everybody seems to face it.
Yeah, like Cutler got it. Remember, Ron? Like Cutler was like, he was the fridge. Yeah, everybody did him. He comes back and beats Dexter. Oh my God, we all love Jay. Then, 2010, he should lost to Phil. So it's just, it sucks, and it's hard now because of social media that like they have to be on it and they can't turn it off. But you know, he blocked out the noise and he won. And you can't hate on the kid for he didn't vote for himself, right? And it's not like his victories were like it wasn't like he shut the door. It was close to the Arnold, it was close to Pittsburgh, it was close to the Olympia. You know, it could have gone either way, but I didn't think he could do it, but props to that kid, dude for doing it, man.
Yeah. Why do you think he gets so much beyond winning and being successful? You're going to get hate on that, but I mean, I think I have my theories. When I interviewed him a couple weeks ago, I think his professing his Christian faith, for strange as it seems, but in modern times, that makes you like a weirdo now. Like you're worshiping this fairy tale in the sky. You're dumb. It's crazy. But I think him talking about being a Christian, it hurts him in the eyes of a lot of these fans who are, I don't know, atheists or agnostic or what the heck they are.
It turns out, listen, I admire that he wears his religion on his sleeve, but you're right. I think it does turn some people off for whatever reason, man. It does. But when you go to the Olympia run and when you see people talking to him and hear him talking about his religion, right, it's totally different. It's weird because when you're there and you don't hear the, oh, you suck, Derek, right? You don't hear that. People are very positive to him. And he's a very positive person. And it's really like, what more can you ask for from a Mr. Olympia, right? We've all met, our heroes that sometimes have green paint that aren't the nicest people, right? So when you have a guy that gives back to the fans, like he does, Cutler does, Ronnie does, you got to appreciate that, because when they're not competing anymore, you're going to miss them. We miss Phil, remember? Yeah. People shit on Phil all the time. We look at Phil now, like, damn, he was fucking phenomenal. So good. Appreciate what you got.
Guys, this keeps coming up. The fake. He's fake. But Donald Pump says, how is he fake? In what way? Is it because he doesn't ever come across negative? Is that something that just seems like nobody could really be like that? I want to know.
Can I comment on that?
Yeah.
Can I comment on that, Ron?
Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing, right? Y'all don't know any of these people. So how would you know what's real or fake? You don't know the real him, so how would you know the fake him? You can't. So you're like Ron said, or you alluded to, you're assuming he's fake because you don't believe that somebody would have that. I don't know why that would be hard to believe, right? Now, that being said, Ron, you know a lot of these people in person, as do I. Yeah. So we would be the ones to make that distinction. I know him for real. I think he comes off fake. But we're not the ones saying that. People who've never met these people, who've never had a conversation with people, think that they know these people so well because they've listened to a couple podcasts, and they don't know the real Derek. So you can't call somebody fake if you don't know who they actually are, in my opinion.
How long have you've known him for a while too, Baidi? How long have you known Derek?
I don't know him in person. I talk to him online, but I'll never talk to him in person. But even that is different. Messaging somebody is a different vibe from somebody sitting on a podcast, right? I get to sit on a podcast and say some crazy shit, right? But I don't have a family. I don't have a wife. I don't have sponsors. I'm not representing a title. So I can come out here and just say some crazy shit. You have to understand, same way LeBron can't sit on a podcast and talk about, who boobs and ass and doing crazy shit.
Right?
Yeah, because it's not professional. So I understand what people are saying. People want Derek to sit on a podcast and be like, yeah, back in high school, I was with this broad and she was doing this. They want that because it's relatable. But you have to understand he's in a different place right now. So it's a little bit different, So fake is strong. Is he conducting himself in a way maybe you think is too professional? I mean, what would you like him to do? I mean, he's Mr. Olympia. He has to represent it. So I understand it. You didn't see Jay back in the days talking about, I was at the strip club, man. Because it's just not, Now, some people can do it. Some people can get away with it, maybe. I don't know. But I wouldn't call it fake. I think people want to see the real him. And I agree. I would want to see more in depth of who he is on a day-to-day basis. But you can watch his YouTube for that. I mean, he seems pretty chill on his YouTube, So watch that if you want. I don't know if you want to see more vlog. I don't know. I really don't know what you want out of him. You want to see him take a shit? and wipe his ass. Yeah, like I mean, how real do you want the guy? If this is him, this is him. You can't make him something he's not. Everybody's not like a wild boy. Everybody's not, raving, or Nathan Diasha. Everybody's not like have that kind of personality. Some people are just pretty chill family guys. That's it.
I remember on Jay Cutler wasn't this Jay Cutler back in the day, right?
Exactly.
Fans, listen, we're old. Fans don't. This isn't the Jay Cutler we saw when he was Mr. Olympia, when he's guest posing. So this is a whole different type of Jay Cutler. So a lot of younger fans just see this Jay or just see this Phil. They're both great guys when you meet them, right? But their personality comes through a lot on social media, and they can say certain things. But when you're Mr. Olympia, right, like you have to represent the sport in a certain way. You can't. It's like basically it's like being LeBron. It's like being Tom Brady. Like this when the cameras are off, it's a different person maybe. But when you have to represent, he's got sponsors, right? Back in the day, Ron, like you never put like their cycle in a magazine when you're writing their articles, right? I'm sure supplement companies didn't want that out there. They were pushing their supplements, so they never talked about it. But fans want to know his cycle, like, what are you doing? No, man, just be thankful that you can reach this man in Tampa, Florida from China or from Europe. You don't got to write a letter, right? But I think fans, when they get that like, because I get it too, right? One of the football players liked my comment. I'm like, oh, shit, like, it was for me, but he doesn't know me, and I don't know him. I'm not going to put my arm around him. But fans think that because they like a comment that they're buddies. You're not. You're not his homeboy. You're not Matt Grego, right?
Exactly,
so don't get it twisted.
Fans are spoiled, right? So, but basically, damn, I forgot what the comment just said, but they want to see. They've gotten so much, but they want more. So people are saying his personality isn't the best or even this. You tell me what was I don't know. Think of somebody back in the days before YouTube. What was Dennis Wolf's personality back in the days? You didn't care. You was just like, I love his physique. You didn't care to see him wipe his ass. Nobody, because we didn't have that access. So we just showed him respect. Now you have so much access. You get to cherry pick. I don't like this guy. Too much Jesus. I don't like this guy. And you're so spoiled that you expect them to act how you act or how you want them to act, not how they want to act. They don't owe you to behave the way you want, right? If they're too off the walls, you're gonna say, "Oh, this guy's a hoodlum," and if they're too clean cut, now they're too clean cut. You want them to be this perfect in between, go raving on the weekends, but then go to church on a Sunday. And what the hell do you want from these people? Just enjoy the bodybuilding. Can we not make it so personal all the time? Like, how do we not like people that we don't know? It's really hard to understand,
It's insanity, bro.
If the athlete say it, is one thing. If an athlete says, I don't like this guy, I know him, I don't like him. Cool. But who are we? We don't know these people, as fans. So I think it's a bit.
I'm sure you've met assholes, you know what I mean, like in your time. So, but that's different because you've known them, right? But it's just a whole different world when you're behind the scenes and you meet some of these people that want to beat you with a baseball bat that's in jail now.
Craig Titus did want to beat me with a baseball bat. True story.
That's crazy.
Mike, give me a story. Give me one of your top stories of the year.
Oh God. Let me see. Other than Lunsford. Shit, Ron. What are we talking? We just talked about before we came on the air, didn't we?
Yeah, we're talking about Derek. We're talking about Jordan, Joe, Masters Olympia not getting paid, Sassan, Quint.
Real quick, Sassan and Quint, real fast.
Yeah.
To be able to do that, again, I think fans take that for granted, and we're really critical on their condition. But to diet not only for multiple shows, for multiple shows across the globe, right? Mm-hmm. I hated going to Orlando from Tampa to do a show, right? I can't fathom travel, time zones, water retention, getting your food. So those two guys, man, and like they didn't wave. They got better. Sassan kept getting better and better, and he showed up the Olympia in good shape too, right? Quint he's like this. He's right there. He's this close to being like that dude. I think one more year, and Quint's gonna be kicking all these dudes' ass, man. And that's just a beautiful look. And he nailed it every freaking time. He should have beat Andrew, overseas. But It's Andrew, and the shape was pretty, but look at that, Ron.
Yeah, I realized when I talked to Giles, we did a power hour that we're going to put up tomorrow. 8 shows. He did 8 shows this year. That's won insane. 2 of them. He won 2 of them. And yeah, the FIBO, it's, people were pretty upset because Andrew came in at like 80%, and he still kicked ass and won the show. But Sassan was, like you said, incredibly consistent, and he competed all over the world, like Britain, USA, Germany,
everywhere,
Canada, Spain.
That's nuts.
Yeah. So
but we don't.
Go ahead.
To be honest, I don't think he's appreciated as much as he should be. I even thought at the Olympia, I thought he was probably the best peak guy, other than Martin, maybe Andrew. Well, no, but Andrew could have still been. Honestly, I felt like he could have been higher at the Olympia, personally.
Yeah, I mean, he was out of the top 15, and once you get past like 12th place, things get very interchangeable, I think.
Yeah,
you could take a lot of those guys and move them around. You wouldn't be wrong with that way. But Sasarati, big props.
Can you imagine dieting like that long?
No.
Like just being on a prep that freaking long, Ron. Like, and think about when you fly and like you don't. We were like old school meatheads, and we missed a meal. We were a little cranky. Like imagine like going to the airport. That's why I said I think these guys are underappreciated for what they do. It looks so easy, and we just see this part. We see the glamour and the checks and the Instagram posts and the lights and the trophies, but it's a grind. Like this is a grind. Flying home, you got a family, you got travel arrangements. It's a lot, man. It's just. I think these guys are truly underappreciated for what they do. It's unreal.
I agree. Yeah. Like Mike said, just driving to Vegas from LA for a show, I'm like, oh my God, this is stressful.
3-hour drive.
Yeah, I could only imagine. Oh, Quint did it too. Quint was doing some moves too.
Shit, dude.
Yeah, 5 shows, and he took second place in 4 out of those 5 shows.
That's 90s shit, bro. That's like old school 90s Grand Prix type stuff, man. Just living, and it's great, man. It's cool. Like they document everything for the fans, so that's what I find interesting. Just to be able to you bitch a lot about social media, but to be able to see him overseas, what he's doing, sharing with the world is appreciated again. But that structure, man, and again, it's just time. Like he needs time, Regan needs time. These kids, they need time in the game. They need time to grow, but we put these expectations on them so quickly, and if you don't like nail it, oh, he's done, he sucks.
Yeah.
But he's a kid. Is he 30 yet?
I think he might have just turned 30.
Yeah,
but he's not much older.
I think he's exactly 30. I should know these things. I just interviewed him like 3 weeks ago.
Younger than your daughter, Ron.
Yeah, exactly. He also got the privilege to hang out and train for a few weeks with Mr. Olympia, Samson Downer. How cool is that?
True.
Oh man,
he's getting those secrets, bro. Like Samson's like teaching the young Jedi. You know what I mean? Like Yoda and the Jedi. So he's where Samson was. Like Giles said, he's where Samson was a couple of years ago.
Right.
So he's on that concept.
There's so much to learn from like these people who've done it that you're not even aware of. Some of these things are things that but you just didn't pay enough attention to it, right? I don't know if that makes sense. So it's like, it's not what people think. They're not sitting there like, half an IU, more GH, do it in the morning. That's not what they talk about. Like when I hang out with Compton and he talks to me, there's so much that I'm learning that I'm like, I kind of know it, but the way he said it's making me so much more mindful of it, and it makes such a huge difference. Something so little just makes it. And those are the things that you pick up that you're like, I should have been paying more attention to this. I could have been so much further, So I'm sure that there was a lot of that going on.
And he can peak. He knows how to peak overseas, right? So he can like hop on a plane, go qualify overseas if he has to. So learning your body that way goes a long, long way, man. And dude, Ron, when you see him in Tampa, dude, that structure, that right there, I was just like, that's it, lights out, game over. He didn't hold on to that. but that is such a beautiful physique in person, bro. It's hard. It's like a Paul Gleddish, but a little more aesthetic, right? Just
Yeah, perfect.
he's
You
so
said it perfectly.
wide, the calves. It looks when you and you feel a little weird. Sometimes you forget where you're at, and you lock in and you stare. My wife goes, "Stop staring." But I was looking at his calves. I just thought, how does that? It didn't look real.
Those
You know what?
Oof.
Right? It was like when you looked at some Martin Rosso's calves, and just like you were just like that look on your face was just like that. That's what I got when I saw that kid, man. So I'm super impressed. I'm a big fan of his kids.
Either one of you guys wants to answer this. Which show that he took second do you think he should have won?
It's funny you asked that because I was just about to say I was so upset that he didn't win a show because I like Quentin so much. When I actually broke it down, I'm looking one by one. I'm like, it's actually fair. Now the last one against Sergey, I was in real time. I was like bullshit. But honestly, now going back and looking, I could see the case. I'm not saying that he for sure should have won. It was close, but I could actually see the case. Because I had to take out my bias. We have to understand that we do have biases. Yes. Whether we like the person, whether we relate to the physique, or we just prefer the physique. It doesn't mean they're a better body, but most of us prefer Flex over Dorian. But we're not going to say Flex should have been Dorian per se. We're just going to say he has a better physique or we like it, you know? Mm-hmm. So when I separate it, I think it was fair. But that last one, I could make a strong argument for Quint. Let's say that.
All right. Mike, next story, Mike.
Next story.
Give me a story.
Goddamn, Ron.
I know, I'm the worst.
I could give you one.
You want Baidi?
Urs switching to the open was pretty big at the time.
Okay. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, he got it ready. Ron is ready to go.
It's close. I split second delay. I'll tell you what, because I have to eat a lot of crow on this because I had him in like 5th place at that first show when I did the predictions. I'm like, he'll be okay. But when I heard he was 260, I'm like, he's not going to be in shape. That's 32 pounds than he was at the last Olympia and Classic. There's no way he's going to be in shape at 260. And he was in shape. And boom, first win. And a week later, he wins again. Poor Quint. Quint just ran up against some shit luck this season.
Especially in Germany, his hometown too, bro. But the only person, remember Kai Green did this type of transformation. Remember before that one Arnold, we all heard Kai was like 30 pounds heavier. We're like, there's no way he's in shape. There's no, I was like, Urs is going to get his ass kicked. There's no possible way because it's hard to see it when you're on camera, right? Mm-hmm. I didn't know where he'd put all that weight. But dude, this works for him so well. And it's great because his fan base is just absolutely insane and it just kind of transfers over to the open class. So it's a plus for the open class. And he poses well. We finally have someone that can pose in the open. That when he comes out, you kind of sit up, right? So it's just so I think this was probably one of the biggest stories that we had about all year. It was just remember that the buzz around it going leading up to that show was absolutely insane. I don't think anybody thought he was going to do that well.
It's hard to believe. Like Ron said, right? I saw Urs at Gold's Venice a few years back at like 260, 265. He was actually lean. He wasn't stage ready though, but he was lean. And this was years back. So I knew he was losing muscle. But to say that, I'm a week out or 2 weeks out and I'm 270 and I'm ready, I'm like, okay, I know Stefan isn't a bullshitter, but I think they're seeing something maybe that's not there that they want to see because maybe he has lines in his glutes so he looks like he's in shape, but he's not. But there's no way I could have saw him being as muscular and in some body parts even more muscular than these open guys. I couldn't fathom it. I was like, there's not a chance. If he was, I said he will win. If he's actually should have 260, I said he 100% going to win. I just don't see a way in hell that he would be. And lo and behold, that's exactly what he did.
You think he's at Pittsburgh to guest pose?
Huh?
You almost want to have him at the Pittsburgh show to guest pose, just to kind of like see, because he can have some kind of Lunsford type of like. Remember when Lunsford guest posed at the Pittsburgh and everybody lost their freaking minds?
Oh yeah.
Like if Urs has a good off season and he's just big, and I don't think he gets very fat at all, right? So, but dude, it's crazy because he's young. Like he's one of the youngest pros, and he's just kind of a baby in the open. He's a baby in the open division, man. So the sky's the limit. I never thought it would happen. Look at that. I didn't think that right there could hold any more size. Right?
Well, because
I didn't know where he put it.
Watching him next to Bumstead, he actually looks on the narrow side, but gaining the size, he's far from narrow.
I've said it before. I was not a huge fan of his physique as a classic physique pro. I was like, his arms are not good at all. His back he's narrow. Quads are good. Condition's good. He's a great poser, but he was never going to win the classic physique Olympia because at that weight and that height, it just wasn't working for him. He was good. He won at some shows, and he was top 3 in the world. Was he? No, he was never second, right?
No, top 3, top 5.
But leaving classic was the right move for him. I'm happy that he did it, and I'm much more of a fan of his now, the way he looks now than I was at that previous version.
Now, if all 3 of those guys had a real offseason, it makes you wonder. Like the meathead in me says. If all 3 of those guys had a real bodybuilding off season, Somerfeld, Urs, and like Bumstead, what they would look like if they just said screw it and just let's get big as shit. Like what Bumstead could be with a full off season would be kind of scary.
Yeah, he almost beat Martin with like a few weeks.
Hey, be careful!
I'm sorry. He did well. He did well in the open line.
Saying Candyman 3 times, bro. You don't have to say Candyman 3 times.
I don't want no problems, man.
Don't do it. Block.
He just doesn't look like, physical perfection. Well, nobody does really. So let's move on to another top story. You want me to? I'll throw one at you guys.
Yeah.
This is a hard one for me because I like Natalia a lot, and I can't say for sure there's nothing going on. I can't say 100% sure that there's nothing going on with the quads, but I'm not convinced about this whole scandal that Sarah and her fans are so convinced of, that she put a bunch of PMAA in her quads, and that's why she beat Sarah this year.
When it comes to bodybuilding, I hate that the industry can be this way just because that we want to draw the line all of a sudden. It's like there's never been a line. It's bodybuilding. If you look like shit, you get placed like shit. If you look like Mr. or Miss Olympia, you become Mr. Miss Olympia. There's always something going on. Everybody has something going on. Some people have a horn or 2 in their glutes. Shit got to go somewhere. Nobody can prove this is that, this is this. You can't x-ray for it. You can't do that. So we can't open that can of worms, because I'm seeing people like, well, it's actually in the rule book, whatever. How? What are you going to say? Oh, go x-ray her. And if she goes to court, she's going to win. You can't prove she's doing anything. So end of the day, there's no, you can't stop that. I don't know what is or what isn't. From the pictures, do some muscles look more flaring? Yes, but I've seen that with a lot of people. It is what it is. We can't tell you if it's gear. We can't tell if it's this. We can't tell not. And you know what's true about it? We don't care. We don't give a shit what it is. All we know is she looked the best that she won, and we all thought she deserved it. Do any of us care? As long as it's not fucking your shoulders or jumping a foot long. Like, Hadi did get punished 1 year, and I would say rightfully so, just that year in particular. But other than something like that, if we have to dissect it like this, let me see it, then there's nothing to look at, in my opinion. But some people, I don't know, all of a sudden want to draw the line. But
and here's the thing: it's not like Natalia's winning like $500,000, right? It's kind of like you're saying we're going to draw the line at PMAA, but like, hey, but that Anavar and that clan and that T3, that's cool, right? That's okay. Listen, man, it's a physique show. Guys loaded up on a Sigling back in the day, Ron. Like, we know those guys. Like, that was the Cavs, Kevin LeBron. All those guys use that. Like, I injected my side delt and rear delts. Like, the rear delts you see, rear delts just don't stick out this much from bent laterals.
They don't.
Right? When you see these guys up close, you see the funkiness of the muscles. You see the different roundness. Right, even at the Tampa show when we're up close, you see some funky stuff going on. But it's bodybuilding, right? It's not a morality contest. It's a physique show. And the thing is, you're trying to win. I think a lot of people forget like the competitive side. Like, so, not that you'll do anything to win, but you have that mindset to where you don't give a shit, right? Like you want to win this show. I'm very competitive. I got a trophy from where I beat my stepdaughter playing Monopoly from like 15 years ago. It's on I'll post it on Facebook and tag her. That's how competitive I am. And these people are competitive. This is their job. And Sarah's not natural, right? Like you can't throw stones in this sport, man. You really can't. And it's not like Natasha's got a beautiful physique. You know what I mean? You win some, you lose some.
I'm sorry interrupting, but I do agree that Synthol PMAA is different from using gear, which you still have to work. It's not injecting and creating more mass.
But how do you know? How could you prove that? That's my whole point. You can't tell me that's for sure PMA. If you say that, you're lying. You can't win that argument because you can't say what's what. So the fact that you can't say what's what, you can't call it.
Yeah.
You know, can I look at? Okay, I'll look at. We can do that with anybody. That look at this guy. Why is Martin's leg so big? PMMA. You're just gonna make it up? Like it doesn't work that way. You can't just make
accusations.
And then honestly, if that's PMMA in her quads, give me some. I want it.
I'll take that all over, bro. But remember, they had Flex Wheeler's calves. They made them get X-rayed the one time before the Olympia because they thought they were implants, right? So I don't know, man. Like, just train harder. Let's just beat her. It's a physique show. You got to come in dry. Her quads did not win her the show, right? It wasn't that it wasn't just shit. Her quads look awesome. Let's give her the title. It's the your overall body, right? And I thought it was close. I thought Natalia was better, but I'm sure
that's what I tell people too. When people tell me about site enhancement, I'm thinking about shooting my arms. I'll ask them why. I think I'm gonna place better. I'm like, with all due respect, adding an inch to your biceps, you're not gonna place any better. You're not losing because of your biceps. You're losing because you're not big enough and you're not in shape. That's it. So the truth is that, yes, it makes a difference, but nobody's winning Mr. Olympia because their biceps are an inch bigger. People say Derek has no biceps. Well, he just won. So that's not going to make or break you per se. You know, I don't know.
They're accusing Derek of going to this place in Brazil. Yeah, that's the evidence is they were at this clinic where they do it. I mean, why would they be that dumb to take photos at a clinic where they do something that they're going to get in trouble with the fans or whatever later on down the line? I just, it's a lot of circumstantial evidence. I'm not being blind. You know, if evidence comes out, I'll be like, I'll have to accept it. You know, if there's receipts, actual receipts or something, here's the doctor and they paid him and this is what they had done, something like that. But I don't know. It was just sad state of affairs because when somebody loses a title or whatever, the last thing you want to see them do is go on social media the next day and say, this is bullshit and this person that beat me cheated and that's, you know, I'm going to get my vengeance or justice will be served. Or it was just, it just left a bad taste in my mouth.
But you know, the press conference next year is going to be phenomenal. I, for one, am going to tune in for that press conference because there's going to be so much tension. I can't wait. And I'm like an immature kind of petty guy. So I think that is going to, like, I want to see how Bob navigates those two. There's real tension there, right? There's real there's beef, right? So, but listen, bodybuilding, we need a good. We've always had some good beefs, man. Like, and in this age, social media, you know, let it go. Something to talk about.
Can I add something to some Ron said? When you defend it, though, people say, "Why y'all pretending like you don't see it or like it's not different?" Nobody's pretending. Like, it's not about pretending. It's like, where do we draw the line of the issue? You just talked about Flex's calf. Flex is on video with Kevin Lavoni and Sean Ray talking about. Kevin just said straight up, "What's up with the calf?" or something like that. He said, he I don't want to say verbatim, but he said there's some compounds like water-based compounds that you can pin in muscles that inflame the muscle and they look bigger. I never had implants, but I knew where to put the compounds. Okay, so do you go back in history and say, oh, the calves were inflammation? Take away his Arnold trophy. Like, where do you all of a sudden draw the line if this is something that's normal? If that wasn't Winnie and it was PMMA, you would not know the difference. There's no, it's either it looks big, it looks small. You don't know what's in there. So my whole point is, where do we start to all of a sudden draw the line if we can't prove it? So we see it. We're not saying that we never see it. The issue is we're saying we see it all the time. As long as it's not something ridiculous that makes the physique look worse, then we're not going to all of a sudden say this is a problem. So we're not turning a blind eye and pretending we don't see it. We're just saying that who's going to call this? Where do you want to take? You want a lawsuit? What if Cyrus says, I'm taking you to court, IFBB, if you take away my trophy? They're not going to win that. They can't win that.
Here's the thing with Derek's arm. You could both respond to this. If he had shit in his arms, implants, whatever, wouldn't they be better?
Exactly.
Would they suck? I mean, I don't want to say they suck. My arms actually do suck. But Derek's arms, they're not great. If he was going to do something, wouldn't he have really focused on bringing up the arms and making them a strong point with PMAA, whatever?
Exactly, right?
They get bigger, not flat.
Right. Remember, Ernie Taylor was competing and doing well, right, with that shit in his arms. And then remember, they were in his quads. And it was kind of back then, like we all saw it. And the judges kind of were still kind of rewarding it for a little while. But if that was kind of bad,
that was kind of bad, yeah.
People would lose their minds if they saw that now, right? If somebody was that blatant. But it's not like, listen, just train harder and beat her. That's all it is. Exactly. But you wonder if that shouldn't affect the judging at all. But you wonder, I'm sure Sarah has her hardcore fans, but you wonder the response too, to her coming out after saying all this stuff. So it's a good talking point for the Olympia. But now they should hype that up too on the posters if they're smart, market that shit.
I will say this: if your triceps look like Ernie Taylor, they should mark you down for sure.
Oh, absolutely. You guys used to get Flex magazine back in the day. They had a big anatomy chart that folded out like a poster size. It had all the best body parts of all the best bodybuilders of that era.
Yeah.
And it was Ernie, and at the bottom it tells you it was like Mike Matarazzo's calves. The triceps were Ernie Taylor on this muscle chart. Because I used to go up I'd be writing articles about bicep, triceps. I was like, and I'd go up to reference it because I always remember Ernie Taylor. Let's switch gears. Let's go with one more really controversial story before we leave all the controversy behind. Well, this Hairgate. So Mike Somerfeld, about a few weeks before the Olympia, I don't even know how it started, but all of a sudden people were talking about Somerfeld's been cheating. He's got his hair boofed up with a pound of gel in it, and he's competing like 10 or 12 pounds heavier than he really should be. And there was a big demand for everyone to be reheighted, reweighed at the Olympia, which they did, but they did it behind a curtain and later released the videos and the photos, which they should have just done it in front of everybody, just so it didn't seem like conspiracy. But Mike he had been competing at a weight that said he was over 5'9", and I think he had to go down to like under 5'7" or something. It ended up being 14 pounds he had to drop in the last like 10 days, him and Neil Hill, his coach. And I think it cost him the title. He would have won. He would have beat Ramon had he looked the way he did last year against Bumstead, or when he won
heavier.
Yeah,
hey, don't you find this funny? Why would you be mad at Mike for that? If he was heighted wrong, why are you upset at him? Now, if he wore a wig, like an Afro wig, yeah, you could say you're cheating. But if it's his hair, his God-given hair, and they measure it wrong, why would you be mad at him? What would you like him to do? Hey guys, I think you measured me wrong. I want you to measure me shorter because 5 years ago in Germany when they measured me at the clinic, they said I was 5'7.5". So I want you guys to measure me until I'm below. Like what do you actually want him to say? And also, he wasn't the only one. If you watch Sebum videos, Sebum said they used to measure me shorter, but recently I had an extra half inch for whatever reason. He didn't know why, but I'll tell you why. It's because they just weren't pushing out his hair anymore for whatever reason. Is that Sebum's fault? No. That's just what they measured him as. So everybody had that. Everybody had that advantage. If you wanted to, just grow your hair a little bit. That was it. So don't be mad at him, right? So what happened? Did he change anything? No. They measured him different. They pushed on his hair. So they changed, not him. So there was nothing he could do about it. They did something. So they rectified it. So I don't know why he gets any heat for that if he didn't do anything wrong. I just find that strange.
It seems like an easy fix. You just hide them at the show, and boom, done. Official. Do it 2 times, push it all the way down both times. That way you have, or do it 3 times just to make sure you have it correct. But dude, this was huge. This was crazy shit. Remember, people think he's gonna miss weight, and what happens if he misses weight? I can't imagine the amount of stress he had to go through, like trying to make weight. That would be not only would suck, but your cortisol levels have to be through the roof, and to come back and pull it together and look as good as he did on stage, man, it says something. But all those pre-contest pics, man, it just doesn't mean anything. Those fancy pics in the gym, those black and whites and the fancy goon lighting, we all were like, "Oh shit, look at that!" It's a different look on stage. It's not a bad look, but it's still a different look than what we saw in the pictures. But it blows my mind that you have a controversy about just something as simple as pushing someone's hair down. Just basic shit, man. Come on, dude. Like my doctor would do it at the pediatrician. That's what they would do to me when I had a flat top. Just push this shit down.
Everybody says he should do bodybuilding because they're judging him at 5 weeks out when he's God knows what. But on stage, he shouldn't do bodybuilding. On stage, he looks like what he is. He looks like a classic guy who's at the top of his weight. That's what he looks like. But people judge him based on how he looks weeks out. Yeah, well, everybody is bigger weeks out. So this thing that he's not classic, well, I mean, he's very classic. It's just that you can't judge, like you said, you can't judge the show by goon lighting. Even I don't care if it's 1 week out, you're gonna be a lot fuller or bigger or under the right light. So I think he's exactly where he should be, unless he starts to move, backwards in placing.
Is he close to the top? He's right there, isn't he?
Oh yeah, he's right there.
Yeah, bro. I don't know. It's time to make that move. Double up on the end draw.
Let's go to a happy story. Happy stories. I like happy stories.
Yes.
Andrew Jack. That's a feel-good story for 2025.
Jesus.
So Andrew had been 8th place in his first Olympia in 2022, 5th place 2 years in a row, and then this year, big leap all the way up to 3rd place. He beat the reigning Mr. Olympia, Samson Dauda. Then he went to Romania a few weeks later and looked, I thought, even better. And now we're talking about this guy being a favorite for the Arnold and a favorite for the Mr. Olympia next year, which, it's not like he was a bad bodybuilder and like, he's never going to win those things. But he's at that level now where there were people that thought he should have won this last Olympia. Did you guys have him winning, or did you think 3rd was right? What were your thoughts on Andrew?
I thought he won finals personally, but prejudging, I had him 2nd behind Derek. Honestly, I had him ahead of Hadi prejudging. In the finals, I had him ahead of everybody personally, but I don't have an issue with 3rd neither.
Yeah, it's different because he's got a different look, like something we haven't seen before, and he's old in age, but his body's fresh, right? He just turned pro like a couple years ago, right? Not even like 5 years.
Yeah.
3.5 years ago.
That's insane.
4 years in March.
He probably doesn't even know how to. Isn't even really training to his full capability. We're Kamal now, but he's just figuring it all out, right? It looks like they're figuring his body out, and the thing is too, he's improving from show to show, which is scary for the rest of those guys because, everybody hates saying the M word for bodybuilders like Hadi and Derek. But when you got a guy that's his height, that's that wide and that shape, and I think this look right here is just insane. He's fuller than the Olympia. That's just an insane look. Like that right there just blows my freaking mind right there. I'm a short guy. I'm a short king, but that's Mr. Olympia right there, bro. Like that is Mr. Olympia, what we're talking about. But, we put all these expectations on guys, bro. And so it's a lot to live up to. But I think he's gonna be hard to beat. He's gonna be really hard to beat, and he's got Aceto on the side too. And Aceto's the shit.
I think somebody in the comments just said it. I think if he can, I don't even think it's a muscularity issue in his side poses. I think he has to find the right way to hit it for his body. I don't think this is something that somebody could just say, hey, y'all hit it like this, because his body is different from your body. Because a lot of people have tried to show him. It's just that it's something that it happened to me. I was trying to figure out myself. People kept try this way. It would look worse. And then one day, for whatever reason, it clicked. I don't know why. I don't know how. I was messing around with it. I was like, wait, what the fuck is that? And I filmed it. I did it a couple times. And then that was one of my best poses. So it's like once he figures out where he has long arms, once he figures out how to just position it, right, that's going to completely change the game for him. Because once his side poses, he has the muscle. So he has the chest. He has the arm. So he ain't missing the muscle. And he's wide. So once he figures that out, boom, I think that's going to make the difference. I think that's why he didn't win this year. I think it was the side poses.
And he's going to be the tallest guy at the Arnold too, right? You have some shorter guys. So he's going to really stand out in that lineup next to Nick and Hadi and Martin, right? Like that size is going to be like noticeable next to those guys. So I don't know, man. Like this dude, we talked about Derek winning those 3 shows. It wouldn't shock me if Andrew won, the Arnold and the Olympia. But, I think he might be that guy that could maybe put together like 2 or 3, wins in a row, right? He can be that dominant in the Olympia because of the height, right? He's taller than Ronnie. He's Paul Gillette's height with better shape in the back, So that's a scary combination.
Baidi, somebody wanted to know if you can do the splits like Andrew. Can you?
I used to be able to as a teen. I got to be honest. I think if I practiced it in prep, I think I would be able to do it. So I actually want to do that. I always say that, but then you start prep and you get so tired, you're like, fuck that. But I would love to. But I think that's the coolest thing ever. Hitting a split at 300 pounds is just. I think it's cool as fuck.
I don't know if I have it in this clip. I don't know if he goes into the splits here, but yeah, that's you don't expect someone that size to be doing splits.
No.
I want to transition. We've been talking about 2025. Let's start talking about the 26 Arnold a little bit. I see it coming down to Hadi and Andrew. Just they're obviously the top ranked guys doing it. Derek's not in it. Simpson's not in it. Do you guys agree? Do you think it's most likely going to come down to Hadi and Andrew, or do you think Martin or Nick could be the monkey wrench?
Listen, man, I think Nick can cause some problems just because he's going to be the hardest guy there. He's also be not the prettiest, but he didn't look that bad at the finals. It's just his structure. He's got so much freaking muscle. You can't ignore him, but it's just going to be how he looks next to Andrew and Hadi, right? But I think if anybody could kind of throw a monkey wrench in that ball game, it'll be Nick. But I think, dude, Andrew is just a train, just like that's not gonna be stopped. But again, like I think Ron, yes, Hadi and Andrew could probably 1 and 2, but Nick could cause some problems.
I feel like we have to go by assuming they're gonna be at their best that we've seen them, where they're gonna match their best. But the truth is that we know damn well all 4 of them aren't going to be their all-time best. That's not how it's going to work. But there's no other way to judge it because anybody who's off is going to fall back. Anybody who's on is going to fall up. Just by a combination of everything, I would have to go with Hadi and Andrew. But that being said, it's so close that Nick and Martin could both leapfrog if Andrew's a little bit softer, right? If Hadi's like flat, we've seen him flat before. He probably won't be soft, but he could be flat. I mean, it's close enough that both Nick and Martin are capable of beating these two. It is possible. It's not like impossible.
Right.
Just I don't think it's very likely as long as something catastrophic doesn't happen.
It's a good lineup, though, man. It's a damn good lineup.
I mean, there's one. I don't even want to say his name, give any credit, but I've been criticized because been called saying me and Giles have been attacking Martin by saying we don't think he's going to win the Olympia or the Arnold. Well, until he beats Derek and he beats Hadi, he has beaten Andrew in the past, but getting past Hadi Chupand, there's only 3 people in the past few years that have done that.
Yeah.
That's Samson, Derek, and who's the other one? Help me out.
Who beat who?
Right?
Yeah, that's it. Samson,
That's
Derek,
it. Just those guys, dude.
and then Rami, and that's been a few years since Rami beat him. So he's damn near impossible to beat when he's on, and he's pretty much always on, Hadi. So that's why he's my heavy favorite. Although I am rooting for Andrew.
Hadi could have 4. He could technically have 4 Olympia wins. Like he's been that close. And when you go over his Olympia record, dude, he's got a hell of a record at the Olympia. He's been top 4 since 2019. He hasn't outside the top 4, top 3 like since 2020. So it's nuts how good this guy is. But again, too, we just don't think we live so like in the moment. We don't really appreciate what he's done and how consistent he is. And when he's on, he's just one of he's one of the best in the world, right? Yeah. But it's also you want to see how that leg looks too, because that leg was starting to atrophy a little bit. But they say you can't. He's already in shape from the pictures. He's 12 weeks out. He's shredded already. So I don't know, man. Hadi's just a machine.
Yeah, 750K goes a long way in Iran, I bet.
Oh my God.
So I don't know what their money is called. Whatever their money's called, I bet there's a great exchange rate. Put it that
way.
Yeah,
he's gonna be walking on water with that kind of money, bro. That's just insanity.
You know,
there's a lot of money here.
There's another. This is a superset, man. I want to give him credit. He does these blitz matchup things.
That's pretty badass, dude.
Really cool.
But it's just like you said, like we know somebody's not gonna be on, right? And these guys nowadays are so close that they'll just gonna flip flop positions. You know what I mean? So. It's just that first call out is gonna be very telling, but I also think too, man, like Brandon Curry, I'd love to see him top 5. I hope he makes top 5. But I can see him placing 5th too.
Oh man, Brandon is probably the least appreciated bodybuilder we've had in the last 10 years. He's never in contention, yet he was top 2. I don't know how many times. He either won it, but he's never in contention until he does it. He's just not. Nobody even And he's gotten better. His legs are bigger.
Yeah, the last Olympia. Would you say the last Olympia is the best he's looked pretty much since he's won the Olympia?
Yeah, and nobody talked about it, Ron. Nobody mentioned him going to the Olympia, and he just shows up. Boom.
I would go as far as to say his last 2 showings, right, the Olympia and the Arnold, were better than when he won the Olympia in 2019, in my opinion.
That's muscle maturity too. Like he's getting that Dexter look, that old man muscle to him, man. And that looks a lot different next to some of those younger dudes.
Exactly. What we thought was his prime, he still was choosing between being peeled and flat or full and not as conditioned. This look is full and conditioned, and his legs are the best I've ever seen it.
Yeah. Nobody's nasty.
Nobody's gonna look at this right now and say, "Oh, his legs are weak from the front." At least, I don't think anybody's gonna say, "Oh, he has no legs," which is what the people used to say.
That they are better. They're better now than I think they've ever been, and it's weird because he's 42, I think.
Yeah.
Legs.
How does that work? PMMA, they shout.
Legs usually start going at 40.
Yeah,
absolutely. By 50, you're lucky if you have any legs.
And and he's a full-time dad too. So that's a lot crazy. Too, man. Preparing for the Arnold Classic, having like those kids at home is a lot, right? Like his wife's an angel, bro. Like that's just they make it work. You know what I mean? They truly make it work. That's why you gotta respect Brandon. And he's older, so I root for those older guys too, man. I know how it feels.
I like that you mentioned that because bodybuilding fans don't think about that, right? When bodybuilding fans think about bodybuilding, they think like that's all that happens in people's life. Like all he does is just eat and sleep and train. Yeah. They don't realize that this is a grown-ass man. He's not 21, right? He has so many things that it makes it hard to believe that he's actually able to even put his body through that, right? Because mentally, you know how you get older and you get more aware. Like I would never do some things that I've done when I was 20, and that could actually hinder you sometimes because you're like, I won't take more than 750 tests. I won't do that. Potentially, that could hinder you, but he's getting better. You know?
Better, and he's taking his kid's a phenomenal college football player in high school. Like he's going on recruiting visits. Like he's going to a very prestigious football school, big time SEC college. So, props to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ole Miss, isn't that that's a good school, isn't it?
Very good school. Very, very competitive school. Yes.
Yes, it is. Hey, you know what's funny? I had an opportunity to do the ayahuasca thing.
Oh,
and then my friend does it all the time. He's like, yeah, it gets you too much. It gives you so much perspective on life. It's like therapy, 10 years of therapy. And then I'm like, you know what? I think I'm gonna wait till I'm done bodybuilding to do it, because I don't want too much perspective, because I think I know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna be like, why am I doing this? Let me go be a hippie or something. I don't know. So too much perspective with age sometimes can take you away from which I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but you have to give more respect to people still doing it at that age at a high level. It's hard.
Listen, man, it's just hard, and to be at that level is absolutely insane.
Yeah.
Now I switched over to Nick Walker picks because Nick has said he's going to coach himself, and it could go one of two ways. Obviously, could be a disaster, or he could bring the best look ever, or at least the best look we've seen since he won the Arnold a few years ago. I don't like the bigger version of Nick. I don't like the, what is he, 275 or something at the Olympia? Is that what he's going to
I think it's going to go really well because of what you just said. Nick doesn't like the big Nick neither. Nick doesn't like this new look. Nick likes the Arnold look as well, and that's what he's always wanted to bring. It just so happens that that's not what his coach had in mind, So I actually think Nick always makes the right call in his head. It's just that whether or not the coach agrees is the thing. So I think now he's like, fuck it, I'm gonna do what I believe in, and I actually think it's the right call. I think that's all he needed. I think that was the look that he just needed to continue to bring. I don't think he needed to get bigger, and he never tried to get bigger by himself. Like, he doesn't want to get bigger, and I think that's the right call.
He knows his body best, bro. Like, he knows what works for him. These guys, they're not dumb. I think they all coach themselves. Like, but it does help to kind of, when you're in that point in prep, like, just to kind of like not think. But I think he's gonna like shock some people, bro. Like, you never count him out. People forget he probably should have beat Derek in Pittsburgh, right? It was that close.
Yeah.
So it could have gone, if it would have gone another way in Pittsburgh, we'd be having a different conversation about Nick. But I think people think he took 6th at the Olympia. You're the 6th best. Since winning 6th at the Olympia is sucky. Like, that's very impressive. Like, Mike Quint took 6th, right? Mike Christian took 6th. There's a whole list of legends that took 6th place, but I think people, for some reason, I don't know if they don't see the prestige in the Olympia or see how prestigious it is, right? Because they think that's a failure. That's not a failure. You're the 6th best in the entire planet. Of how many billions of humans on this earth, you're the 6th best at bodybuilding. So you can't knock that, man. But listen, they love you when you win. They love them after Pittsburgh. He sucked after the Olympia. It's just kind of how bodybuilding fans are, dude.
I would argue this was the most competitive Olympia that Nick has ever been in.
Yeah.
And I would argue that this may have been the worst version of Nick we've seen since he's been a pro. And he was still 6th in the toughest lineup he's ever been in. That's technically that says a great thing about you as a bodybuilder, I would say. But people say, he should retire. That's crazy.
He's done. He's not done. People, just stop being stupid. You know what I mean? And listen, if he wins this show, you'll see everybody like kissing his ass again.
Of course, yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, the other guy who has a very good chance, Martin Fitzwater. I'm not a Martin hater. I don't like the way he treated Giles at that show, but I put all that aside when I'm looking at physiques. Yeah. I don't care if you're the greatest Mother Teresa, greatest humanitarian, or a piece of shit. I don't care. I'm looking at your physique. I'm going to talk about your physique and what I see. And Martin has an excellent physique. He just hasn't beaten. He beat Samson, but it wasn't the Samson that won the Olympia. So for him to get past Andrew, to get past Hadi and Nick, which he's beaten Nick before, but it all remains to be seen. He's got a really good chance. He's getting better. He's still young. He is a factor, and I would never say that Martin can't win the Arnold or he can't win the Olympia. You know, we've seen these titles swapped so many times over the past few years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've all been watching these shows like, oh my God, so and so won. We didn't see it coming. So yeah, Martin has a damn good chance. It's just,
I mean,
Hottie's no joke.
I think it's insane that we're at, I guess, a day and age where a physique that insane is 5th place at his all-time best. Because I'm dead serious. Like, this is a crazy bodybuilder. Like, you would look at him and be like, I don't see why he can't be Mr. Olympia, until you see him in the first card. They're like, well, fifth is where he should be. But I just think it's a crazy idea that he's that good, and 5th place is the, you know, it seems crazy to me. But it just tells you that there's a lot of really good people, you know. And I like Martin as a bodybuilder, and I like him personally. Well, like Ron said, I didn't like what he did to Giles. I like Giles as well, but I'm not gonna be like throw him in jail and cancel him neither.
No, I didn't. I never said that.
No, yeah.
I was just hoping for an apology, and I was hoping he said he's not going to apologize. Whatever, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's all I thought was warranted was an apology. I didn't want him suspended or fined or anything like that. No.
Okay. Here's the thing: we're straight shooters. Just because we like somebody, we're not going to ignore everything. I like Ron, but if Ron, you know, goes and punches somebody, I'm not going to be like, well, depending why he punched him, he might be warranted. But we can still say this is wrong. Yeah. Doesn't mean you're a bad person.
No.
But that was wrong. I mean, it doesn't mean right. Same way we can say physique. Same way Giles is in his right to say, I thought this person should have beat you or you should have beat you. It's all fair. It's all fair game. I just think they should handle it more than we talking about it, right? Which the media. That's part of the media is what we do, but I think that's something that happens between them. I think he should apologize, but they're grown men. They're gonna do what they want to do. But I like both of those guys.
Basis on the young man, like you can't, you know, when you're young and like you just you may not think right, but hopefully in the future you'll hindsight's 20/20, and you just think about things as you age. But you can separate the person from the physique, right? Like in this sport, like there's a lot of people you have to separate the person and the physique, because there's some people in the sport that aren't the greatest, but what he showed in Prague was just absolutely insane. Yeah, like that crazy. Prague impressed the shit out of me because he was so lean.
Look at that.
And so hard. That's dude. We don't see that's like you don't see striations like that anymore. Like you don't see guys getting that striated in the quad, man. That's separated. And the thing is, when he's on like that, his confidence is sky high, right? It's just when he doesn't get those call-outs that he wants, you can kind of see it on his face. But again, except Ron, he's young. He's going to be in shape. And where Martin does, he can catch some guys sleeping. If some guys are off, he's going to pass you up, right? He's got a good back, good balance, good flow, good presentation. But it's just Hadi Chupan, man. Like, it's just he's up against some heavy hitters. So we'll see how he does. We'll see where he stacks up. And give him props for doing it. He could have skipped this and just done the Olympia, but he's putting on a line and competing against these guys too. But you got to control yourself. You're at a different level now. You're in the public eye, and so right now you're always on. Right? They tell football players the camera's always on you. Right? And when you're on social media, before you hit send, you should always think before you hit send. Right? Sometimes in the morning, or I'll just wake and bake, and I'll be like, probably shouldn't push send because I'm a little loopy. So like you got to think, with social media now. So I don't know. And these guys, they don't get social media training. It's like bodybuilding is so different because there's nobody. You don't have an agent that's saying, "Hey, do this," or "Let me release a statement that says this." But you live and learn, right? It's just he's a kid, right? He's young, right? Just
to put it out, I know I've said this. I don't have to keep reiterating it, but Giles and me are supposed to be haters of Martin, but we both said he should have beat Derek in 2024 at the Olympia, and I thought he should have beat Samson this year at the Olympia. I had him 4th over Samson at this Olympia.
I agree, actually. Yeah, I agree with that too. Yeah. You know what? There's nothing you can't resolve with a conversation.
Yeah,
you would be shocked. You would be shocked just talking to somebody. You would realize that everything makes sense, and you guys are more alike than you think. Like that's one thing. I've literally been in physical fights and then talked to the person, and then we were cool. It's like full blown physical fight. It's like because it's usually just emotion and just misunderstanding a lot of times. All you have to do is talk, and we're guys, boy. We're pretty chill. Men are pretty chill guys. Yeah, we can get hot headed sometimes, but for the most part, we don't want no trouble. We all want to be cool. You know, yeah, we have a long way. Yeah, I think when conversations aren't had and you hear things from different people and you keep hearing things, it builds up and it becomes something. It happens. That's why it happens on social media so much, because nobody's talking in person. Everybody's online. But you see people in person, you talk, there's usually never a real issue.
No, you know what? Nobody ever says shit like when you're online and in person. You know what I mean? It's just, it's a different vibe too. And like, I don't know, man. I think a lot of these guys, they just focus on the negative, right? Because you're putting your body on display. I get it. But you're not everybody's cup of tea. I was watching your interview with Ellie, and like, imagine what she hears. Oh, yeah. Right? Imagine what the women bodybuilders hear to their face, right, in public. Right? We've all been with women bodybuilders to where you see the stares. You're right, like if you date a woman bodybuilder or you're friends with, you see the stares they get, the comments. People, I mean, even the comments we get, people would just come up to you and say, "You take steroids?" Or just the nasty comments, right? So everybody's not going to like you. They're not going to like your physique. Right? Imagine you're back in the day, if you're reading a contest report and like Peter McGuff said something negative about your physique. Imagine how crushed you'd be, or how crushed Kenny Jones was every time a contest report you get 16th place, right? Yeah. It's like he was swimming in a pond, not his physique. So it's the sport, man. It's just, Jay was compared to a refrigerator, right? So it's a lot worse. People have gotten a lot worse, and you're not talking bad about the kid. You don't suck if you beat Samson Dauda. You're good, bro.
All right, so because I had it in the title, I do have to incorporate it. So Fouad responded to Martin's.
Oh yeah,
Martin saying he didn't believe in him. So let me pull that clip up, because he was a hostile athlete for a couple of years, I believe. He was looking for a while, and he got a lot of money from. Geez, how far down is it now? This guy, this should be on the stage TV. Response.
Yeah.
Because I thought they were going to be great. So it bothers me to hear maybe this person should stop doubting me. That's a very childish thing to think when someone has paid you a boatload of money because they believe in you, right? So it doesn't make any sense. And secondly, let's look at the facts here. If you go back and look at any of the Olympia predictions for 2025, you'll see that I had Martin in 5th place. Okay. Now, maybe that bothered him, but Martin ended up in 5th place. So I'm not going to say Martin's 1st place if I don't think he's 1st place. Like like, what do you want me to say? Does he want me to say Martin's going to win the Olympia? No, because then I lose my own credibility.
Too loud. All right. So yeah, I mean, that's the last thing I want to talk about is a boatload of money. Well, let's say he was getting, I'm going to throw a number. I have no idea what he was getting paid. Let's say it was like $200,000 a year. I don't know if that's what it was. Would that be reasonable, you think?
That's gambling.
I would say pretty reasonable, because athletes nowadays have a lot of sponsors, not just one. So you're going to be getting that in different directions, you know?
I meant just from Hostile. I'm guessing Hostile. Yeah. I'm sure it was at least 100, but maybe it was like 200 or more.
I guarantee.
Yeah, for sure 6 figures. Anyway, but at what point, like, do you want your friends to lie to you? I mean, I don't think that would do you any service if your friends lie to you. I mean, Fouad always had him in the top because he's the top guy, but like, I didn't think he was going to be Samson. I don't think most people thought that because what he said, Samson's going to come back a lot better, and he was way off. So he has a bigger room for improvement, and he beat him way off. So that would lead to believe if I beat you way off, I'm probably going to come back a lot better because I was so off. You probably don't have as much ground to cover. So it would make sense if I won. Now, Martin won fair and square.
Right.
And even Fouad knows that. But just as far as predictions, it makes sense to predict Samson. And even if it didn't make sense, it's just an opinion. It's just an opinion. Doesn't really mean anything.
Well, here's the
They're
thing.
not judges.
If you're in the position of a Fouad or us or Giles, we have to call things realistically. If we're doing predictions for a show, I might like someone a lot, but if I don't think they have a realistic chance of winning, I'm not going to say, oh, he's probably going to. No. I mean, you have to have some sort of credibility and stick to your guns and put feelings aside. Whether you like this person or hate that person doesn't have anything to do with where you have him. I mean, Fouad had him in 5th, and look, perfect. He got it exactly right. But Martin, I don't know if he was Fouad's misinterpreting, but I guess Martin took exception to that. He was offended by, how dare you? You don't believe in me. If you think I'm only going to do 5th, you should think I'm going to win. I'm your guy, although Samson's his guy too. But we can't be that way. It's you're not doing people favors if you're telling them they're gonna win just because that's what they want to hear. This
even before that. I'm sorry, Ron. Before that, Fouad gave him a bunch of compliments. Before that little snippet, he complimented him even more. But like I said, it's not personal. You're giving I don't know when giving an opinion is considered bad now, right? It's not. You're not talking about you personally. We're not saying anything about you as a person. It's just your physique. And even at the Prague show, I didn't think they I didn't think Martin would still beat him until I heard him announce the winner. I didn't think he was going to beat Samson. I don't think anybody thought, even in that condition, right, is enough to beat Mr. Olympia, right? But it's just, and I get you use that fuel, but like, you gotta let it go, man. Like, it's great to channel that, but you can't hold on to that for a year, right? It's
too
a year.
Much.
It's too much, dude. Like,
it's a bit too much. Yeah.
It's too much, but I guess, you got to go through shit when you're young. You know what I mean? And then, what is he, 27, 28 years old?
Yeah, he's very young.
Yeah, he's 28, low jack full of tests, and like just, it's just weird because he's one of the best bodybuilders in the world at 28 years old, Ron.
Yeah.
Right? That's something. When you're making that kind of money, and I don't know, sometimes you just, I don't know. I've never been in that position, but you got to just treat you relationships in this sport go a long way, especially after you're retired. Look at Ronnie going overseas with Giles multiple times, Andrew Jacks going overseas, Terrence. There's opportunities around the world for money making, for your future. Like, you're 27, this has got to last you, bro, right? And your body's going to start giving out. We see how you get older. So you got to have a plan after. So start setting this up, because he's one of those rare guys, Ron, that's good young. Like Sean and Kev, those guys. We don't see that very often. But you're making a ton of money at 27. Just be cool with people, man. It goes a lot longer, man. Just be cool.
My thing is this, like, what does it matter, right? If I'm competing against Mike, and then I know I'm going to beat Mike, I'm like, oh, I'm going to beat him, no problem. And Ron is like, I think Mike is going to win. And then I beat Mike. Okay, I won. Like, what? That's it. My point is proven. Nothing else matters. Or say, I'm like, oh, you know what? I think next year, my business, we're going to go into 8 figures. And then Ron is like, that's a lot of money. I don't know if you can do it. Okay. And then I'll make 9 figures. Do I have to go back to Ron and be like, man, fuck you. You didn't believe in me. It doesn't matter.
Right.
His opinion did nothing.
Right.
I did it. I won. I got the prize. Like, it literally doesn't matter. Like, is Ron my financial manager, my accountant? No. Is he my dad, my mom? No. Even if it was my dad that said, I don't think you can do it. I think Mike's going to beat you. I'm like, okay, Dad, let's see. And I beat Mike, and I'm like, there he goes. I don't even have to say anything. I beat you. That's it.
It's crazy, man.
It's over.
Well, Mike, you watched the Helly interview that I did with her the other day. And, you're over 50. She's 50. That's one thing we notice is when you're younger, other people's opinions really matter a lot more to you. You're worried about what people say about you, what they think about you, and you get really upset when people say things about you don't like or whatever. And as you get older, you're like, who gives a fuck?
It don't matter, bro. Like,
what does it
doesn't
matter?
affect my income or my health or my family,
And you'll
That's
wake
what
up,
I care
you
about.
wake up one day and you're like 50 or 60, you're like, my God, I spent my whole life not doing what I wanted to do, or not living my life on my own terms because I was worried about what this person was going to, how they're going to look at me, what they would say about me. So I think, Martin's a young guy. He's going to be maturing as time goes by. I have nothing against him. I wish him the best. He's going through that stage where everyone goes through in their youth. And, I hope he comes through the other side eventually with some more wisdom. And did he say to Nick, I hate you on stage at one point? Am I remembering that wrong?
There was a few things that were said like that. It was just, I don't know, man. I just, in the heat of battles, but it's not really a battle. It's a bodybuilding stage.
You're in a thong. Come on.
Right, dude. Like, you say stuff on a football field or a basketball court, but like, it's in the heat, but we're oiled. You got oil on. You're next to a half-naked man making a muscle, right? Getting applause. You got to think about this shit, right? Like, it's not that deep, bro. You know what I mean?
I think it's definitely an age thing. I never felt any animosity towards my competitors, but when I was younger, I remember I felt more of like battle mode. I'm kind of like, yeah, I'm gonna, I'll get in front of the elbow. And now I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And I look way better now than I did back then. I'm shaking hands with guys backstage. We're laughing, we're messaging. It's because you've lived real life. You know what real battles look like. You've had days where you didn't know if you were gonna make it. You didn't know if you were gonna be alive. Like you're like, I don't know how I'm gonna pay the rent. We've had some crazy fucked up times that posing in trunks isn't something that's gonna make us take it so personally. We love bodybuilding. I'm not trying to downplay bodybuilding. Like, we're just in oil, but we are. We're just in trunks of oil. So we don't take it as some kind of like fighting for my life. But even if you're making money from it, we still have the perspective because we are older. I think at a younger age, you have less, like we talked about earlier, like with Brandon Curry, you have so much more perspective in life. Yeah. You don't see it that way. Like, this is so personal, like an attack on you. You just know it's just what it is. So I think that's something that just comes with age. I like Martin. I think Martin's a great guy. I think it's just age mixed with passion. I don't think it comes from a bad place, but I think it's young age mixed with a lot of passion. And I think if you sat with him and had a conversation, I think he knows he could have handled some of these things better, I'm sure, in hindsight. But in the heat of the moment, I just think I've been there where in the heat of the moment, I've said and done things. In hindsight, I'm like, I probably kind of handle it.
But he's living the dream, man. He's living it. At 29, you're living the dream. You're traveling the world. You're a pro bodybuilder. He's doing what we all dream of doing. So you got to appreciate that shit. He's got to hopefully appreciate it. Somebody's there saying, man. That's why, Ron, I think not having a Peter McGuff or Joe Weider around for some of these younger guys, it's a big loss. Like, I think those two especially could have done a lot. Like, we don't have those in sport anymore. Like, there's nobody to kind of mentor these guys. They kind of, like, Sean, Flex, and Kevin, they tell you stories about Peter and just the wisdom and guidance he gave them, man. So, like, he's missed. Joe Weider truly missed, bro.
Yeah, Leveroni talks about that constantly, almost every time you interview him, because Joe was like a father figure, and he guided these guys, and he said, "This is how you act. This is how," and he did control their public image with the magazines, and we didn't have social media, so these guys couldn't go and say, "F this guy, I hate you." We never saw that side of them. We saw a very, very carefully chosen, curated image of these guys, and that's why we idolized them. They were bigger than life, and now every time these guys have like a trend rage or something wrong, and they make a post, we find out about it. It's all over the place within an hour. Everyone's like,
no privacy, dude. There's no privacy anymore.
Yeah,
it's gone. Like, they were gods. I remember, like, you see them like in person to Arnold, you were like, holy shit, like, there's Chris Cormier, like there's Sean Ray, there's Lee Labrada, like now, like, I saw Labrada check in at the Tampa show, and I was just like, I'm 52 years old, and I'm just like, shit, Lee Labrada, oh man, and like, look, Lee Labrada, she's like, whatever, like, she didn't get it, like,
When I was in New York, Victor used to train at Steel Gym, right? It's on like 23rd Street.
Yeah.
The first time I saw him, I was 18. And I'm looking. I didn't want him to catch me looking at him. I didn't want to say a word. I just wanted to observe. So from 18, I didn't say one word to Victor till I was like 28. Nowadays, people see Joe in the gym. They're like, "Hey, Joe, how much GH you take?" They don't even know him, right?
Yeah.
They're so, because it's so accessible, which there's some positives to it, because Joe can also get clients and stuff like that. But I think there's too much. I think they have too much. They get to see too much to the point that it's way, it gets. Back in the days, if somebody ran up on somebody and got to altercation, we wouldn't even know about it. Only you guys do. They would know about it. Yeah. I'm sure it's happened. But we wouldn't know about it. But now we see too much. We know too much. People get too close. And there are some cons to it. We're seeing some cons to it. You shouldn't be asking Joe how much GH he takes. Just watch him from the distance like we did. Just watch him. Oh, look at Victor Mel. I can't get get that big. I can't do that, man. Oh,
the curtain.
It was more special, It felt special. I don't know. It's different.
How old are you, Baidi?
I'm 33. I'm just old and soul, man.
33. My God, my daughter will be 32 in April. You're so young. Enjoy your youth.
I was making bad decisions at 33, man. I was still on that life.
I was in my villain era. Yeah.
Oh, great, man. Like that was the year. That's a 27 to about 25 to about 34, 35.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Ooh.
I think I made so much mistakes in my 20s. Now I'm grateful for it.
Yeah.
Because I'm getting to see that you're gonna do it eventually. Better early than late.
Because
I'd rather make it in my 20s than in my 40s, right?
Preach.
All right, well, we've been going for almost an hour and a half, so I'm gonna call the show. I don't know if we're gonna do another one because Christmas Eve is on a Wednesday, and then New Year's Eve is on a Wednesday. Dang it! I don't know. I might break the format and do it on a different night. We'll see.
Yeah, let me know, Ron.
Man, tell me in the comments, guys. What do you need? So, guys, leave some comments. Appreciate those of you in the live chat. But if you're watching this on the replay, absolutely leave some comments. We covered a lot of different subjects here, so you'll have some things to say, good, bad, indifferent. Put them all down there. I want to thank Big Mike Cox, who's here with me every week, and especially Baidi Farl. Check him out on his Instagram, Baidi Farl, his great YouTube channel, Baidi Farl. You still do Fit Nation podcast, yes?
I do. I posted one today, actually, earlier today.
National, right? National Review, right?
Yeah, National Review. Yeah, I'm actually gonna get more active in my YouTube now. I got some more. Well, I don't got more free time, but I'm gonna make more free time.
If you give me like a day or two ahead of time, I can almost always jump in.
You know what? Sometimes I go blank. I'm like, who do I have on? And then I forget everybody. And the next day I'm like, oh my God, why did I not ask him to be on? I think I wait too last minute. I gotta plan it like weeks ahead now, like I used to do sometimes.
No worries. All right. Well, thank you guys. Appreciate it. And everyone, thanks for watching the Meathead Podcast. Once again, we'll be back next time. Not sure when, but sometime soon. And that's it. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a great night.